I feel like I do look older right now. Do you think I look older? Like, I'm actually not kidding. I feel like I look older.
Like overnight.
No, I don't know.
Maybe.
Don't I look older?
Wiser.
I look wiser.
Yeah.
I feel like I look older. Sorry. Sweet. What do you think? Thank you. Does my hair look good?
You look great.
Let me tell you about the dress. This is a vintage Laura Ashley dress. It's really nice because it's got this kind of ribbon. I think the sleeves are so cool. They're like, so you put in love Laura Ashley. It reminds me of my grandmother. I'm not sure.
I think you're right.
You're excellent.
This is the birthday card you made.
I love it. That's very good.
Look at this. This is such a nice present.
We hope that you have your experience there as well.
I always feel like I have to do a self-check-in about like an hour or two before the first guests start arriving at a party. That old kind of saying about like people crying on their birthday, I find so relatable. I always find something to cry about. You know, sometimes it's like I don't like what I'm wearing, or you know, I'm missing somebody, or I feel like things aren't coming together, my expectations aren't being met for whatever event I've decided to do on my birthday. I've had lots of different emotional moments. The funny thing is that the older I get, the more ridiculous those emotional moments seem to get. I just cry about really actually childish things. Yesterday, I probably had my big emotional moment, and it was when I realized I didn't have anything that I really wanted to wear for the party today. It's embarrassing, but also a part of what I'm trying to express here, which is, I guess, I would love to figure out how I'm feeling. I have a theory that the way that I'm feeling isn't able to be captured in one certain emotion. I mean, I tried to write down some of my thoughts. I mean, I always think there's a sense on my birthday that I should have had more figured out by this point, you know? Like, now I look back and I think 19 years old, I didn't have it all figured out. At the time, I was super sad about it, but I was 19. Like, how was I supposed to have it all figured out? I barely had anything figured out. I'd barely done anything or been anywhere. But now I'm 24, and that's a serious age, and I seriously should have things figured out. My only hope is that as I get older, you know, I look back and I think, oh my gosh, at 24, hardly anything had happened. Like the same sort of compassion. I hope that I don't look back at myself at 24 and think, no, that should have been the age when I had things figured out. And because I didn't have it figured out by 24, I was never going to have it figured out. And that was the moment in which I never was going to be on a path to figuring it out. I mean, what does figuring it out even mean? It just feels like one of those things that, it's like a figure of speech. I guess to me, figuring it out is like knowing precisely that what I'm doing at the moment is exactly what I want to do, and the people I'm around are exactly who I want to be around. And, you know, all these very impermanent things, relationships, activities, life itself is just so impermanent. So I guess this idea that, you know, I would reach this state of like permanence. I suppose I know intuitively that I shouldn't be so concerned with this abstract concept of figuring it out. Like, that's just a cliche. But the human part of me doesn't feel that way. The real flawed part of me is like, I wanted to be incredibly famous and successful by now. I don't even know if that's true. I don't even really think, there's been times in my life where I've achieved differing levels of success relative to whatever position I'm in. I mean, in many ways I've achieved so much success this year. I mean, I've almost completed a master's degree. But I think that, yeah, that never-ending sense of like, next year will be the one where everything's just completely different. I suppose, anyways, I was having all my thoughts and feelings about my birthday a little bit ahead of time because I knew with this party, hosting a party when you're working full-time is like a full week affair. You know, you need to buy groceries on one day, prep things on another, prep more things on another, whatever. Like, I've been working on this party all week. It's been a major undertaking. So I haven't really had a lot of time to sit and think, but all my thoughts kind of about my birthday and my feelings towards everything flooded into me all at once on my lunch break about 2 days ago. During that lunch break, the weather was super weird. It was like a really light summer rain. It was like a sun shower, almost like the spray off of a waterfall or something like that, like mist. It was misting. And I work near the government building, and it has this huge park with all these benches, these park benches, and I love to spend my lunch hour either sitting there or walking around there. Everyone was kind of ducking beneath trees and overhangs because this rain was it would make you damp. Like, it was a very wet rain, but it was a very light rain. And as I was walking and I was having all these emotions that were kind of coming up in this moment, I kind of just felt myself like turn my face up toward the rain and embrace that sort of like misting. I mean, there was something very uncomfortable about it because I knew that my hair and my clothes were getting wet and I'd have to go back to my office in like 30 minutes and I'd be damp and look like an idiot. But I also think there was some sort of feeling of like peace that I achieved in that moment where I felt all those emotions just like that mist, that summer rain kind of just falling all over me. I figured that I'd done more by 24, but I'm grateful to be here, right? Because I know that not everyone is going to make it to 24. I've had friends that haven't made it to 24 years old, and I think there's satisfaction in this new age, and I think the best thing that I can do is, rather than trying to parse out what all these emotions are, right? Anger, love, peace, shame, hurt, fear, all of these different kind of like complex emotions that come with turning a new age and facing the reality of that. Obviously, nothing changes overnight. Your age changes gradually throughout the year, and it's confirmed today. Like, it's confirmed that I have aged an entire year. I have to confront all of that aging today. I have to appreciate this bitterness about aging, this bitterness of knowing that my time on earth is limited, and I don't know how limited it could be. It could be really limited, or it could be a long time before I go, but I really have no idea. So instead of trying to parse out these emotions and figure out what each of them is, where they're coming from, instead to just let them wash over me like some sort of summer rain, where it mists on me and falls on my cheeks and maybe makes me look like a bit of an idiot, but I can kind of let myself be coated in this rain just for today at the end of summer in August. My August birthday always kind of reminds me of something dark, but sweet. I don't know how to describe it. Midsummer Night's Dream, the Shakespeare play, that kind of like darkness, the night mixed with the lightness of the summer. I always feel like that's what an August birthday feels like. Like, you know that the summer is about to go away. Trees have that kind of smell to them where you know the leaves are going to begin rotting. Everyone is kind of like trying to grab what they can before things get cold again. I started thinking about the plum. It's this kind of dark, tough, cased fruit with purples and blues and everything. And you bite into this fruit, but it's still got the lightness, the sweetness, the yellows and reds and fiery colors of summer. That to me is my August birthday. So the theme for today's party is loosely plums. I made these little dinner menus for the party. And they've got that plum imagery on them. So I hand painted these on some watercolor paper and then just left like a gap in the middle. And then I scanned my watercolor painting and sent these to the print. So I printed these, and I need to write every single guest's name on them. So I could probably do that right now, actually. You can see that the plum imagery is kind of on this. And there's also a lion because it's Leo season. And then actually on the back of these little cards, it's so cute, we have these little discussion questions. Yeah, I was telling somebody at work about these, and she said, "Ooh, it'll be good to have conversations beyond the weather." And I think that's the point. These are conversations, guaranteed conversations beyond the weather. So. Choice.
I swear.
Just bought these. I haven't had a chance to wear them yet, but I'm very excited. They're Heidi Daus, famous costume jewelry maker. She makes these kind of like over-the-top Art Deco kind of pieces. These ones are from the early 2000s, I think. I don't know. Oh, these earrings. No, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. Oh my gosh. I love them. I really haven't tried them on properly. I love them.